Yo.
That was it.
Welcome to another episode of Truth and Banter. Done know.
Rubbish.
This case closed though, isn't it?
Kickstart.
What's this? Your case closed?
What are you gonna say? Yeah.
So are women raised to be wives?
No.
You go first.
Let's do a poll. Are women raised to be wives? For first thoughts, yes or no?
No.
Sha'al.
I think.
No.
No, you just want a yes or no.
Yes or no.
Oh, all right then. Yes, without knowing.
Wait, what generation are we?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You can't just say yes, no, yeah.
If
Yeah,
you're
but what's your
talking
initial thought?
Because you're talking about me.
Oh,
right?
okay. Initial thought,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. What do you think initially? Flash?
Hell no.
No, I agree. No.
Okay. Why are they not raised to be wives?
Because there's no incentive to it. It's more about get money, get a good job, look after yourself. Like, fair enough, innit?
Be independent, strong.
Because they're now in the workforce, they can work and do whatever they want. There's less incentive to find a husband.
I think there's no examples. There's no real solid examples.
The elderly
Government
grandparents.
gives you everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, for women, they get everything.
Yeah.
So what's the use of a man?
I think it depends, as I said, as he said, generation, and I think they're subliminally taught but not told. It's kind of like Daniel's son. He thought Mr. Miyagi was mugging him off, innit? Like with the paint the fence, and so he was doing certain things that when it come down to the end, Mr. Miyagi was like, okay, paint the fence, and then he's doing the moves, and by accident he's like, oh, right, okay, I'm blocking it.
Yeah.
So women in the house or girls in the house grow to watch to see what their mum does, innit? So naturally, they take on a certain role, especially if you're already in a marriage or a relationship. They take on that mum role. They see how the dad operates and so forth. So they take little things, but it's not taught to them verbally.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at a lot of families, middle class, the son does what the dad does in business or whatever, they plumber or roofer or whatever. It's because it's broken down to him. Listen, son, yeah, you need to do this because blah, blah, blah. We're just told, our like community, we're just told, oh, you need to be this.
Stay in school.
No explanation to nothing. Yeah, you need to be a doctor. Oh, you need to be a plumber. You need to learn a trade. You need to go college. No breakdown.
And there's no why. Yeah, there's no why.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
what
don't
I'm
really
saying.
have
So
an
that's what
understanding.
a lot of things ain't broken down. A lot of things ain't communicated in our homes. So I think a lot of women and girls do grow to know how to. It's just like, how does a girl know to have a toy baby and do all of that and put it in the little pushchair?
naturally
And
being
it's
nurtured,
exactly, but it's not said growing up. Like, okay, so this is what you have to do, and when you get married, this is how you operate.
Okay.
It's just shown, but you not. They don't have a clue that that's what it is.
So is it more a thing they're grown to be mums then, not wives?
That's
But
a
ain't a
very
wife
good
and
point.
That's a very good point.
No, there's different dynamics.
It depends when it comes to the partner. Then yeah, but they're not. It's like they're not even grown to be mums though, because things ain't said to them. They just see and copy.
Yeah, they're picking up things.
How does someone know how to wash dishes?
Osmosis.
How does someone know how to?
Say osmosis.
Yeah.
How does someone know how to wash clothes in a washing machine? And separate lights from the dark and all the rest of it. It's copying, isn't it?
Yeah. That's osmosis.
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 Bro, I never heard that before, bro.
Osmosis.
Never heard what before?
Osmosis.
That's some planting, isn't it?
No,
No,
it's
that's-
the
is it
act of
hypnosis?
observing something.
Osmosis.
So
What's
say
the
like,
plant one?
No.
Photosynthesis.
No,
No,
osmosis.
no. The one when the water evaporates.
Oh, my
condensation,
days.
evaporation.
No. Condensation. That process is called something. I can't remember.
I can't
Osmosis.
remember it. I can't remember
What
it.
process?
The process of water, when you boil water and the clean water
Evaporate?
comes up.
Oh.
and turns.
Isn't that
I forgot what
What's
it's
it
called.
called?
You lot got me in some
No,
chemistry
it's-
lesson right
No,
now.
it's-
Osmosis.
Because she used to be a teacher, she thinks she's got it.
No,
all.
Wait, what were you trying to say? Though?
I'll say no. You say like
Osmosis.
no. Say for instance, you're someone who's very shy and timid, and you want to become confident.
Yeah.
You would hang around with someone that's very confident,
Yeah, yeah.
so that
Oh, to
you
learn.
to observe, and then you kind of take on that characteristic. That's
Okay.
osmosis.
Osmosis.
But I
So-
know
SIS,
OSMOSIS. Yeah, that's a. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
same
know
word.
that word, but I can't
don't know
remember
that
what I
word.
was putting it to.
Yeah, the fusion. Yo, taking it.
And you just come out of school and
He meant to be sharp.
Too much,
All
really.
that's gone, man. That's way gone.
Yeah. So but you learn how to be a wife and a mother by observing the things that you see.
exactly.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
they're not verbally told anything.
Explain.
So that's where the gap comes from.
So where's the lack? And what things do you think that women lack with regard to being a wife?
Do you know?
Don't know. Everyone's different.
Remember, like, you know when you watch the documentaries, the elephants in particular, you get the young elephant mum looking after the baby elephant, but then David Attenborough is always saying that the grandparents are always teaching the mum what to do certain things. Nowadays, I think the grandparents are a bit younger now, less experienced. So my grandparents are 80s and 70s, but with growing up now, grandparents are like 40s now. So there's less experience to impart on the next generation.
That big mama generation is dying out,
It's
innit? So-
dead, man.
What about the single mothers though? So they're going through a struggle in themselves where they have to be tough, like the mum and the dad. So I would say the daughter's also taking that characteristic as well. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah, no, definitely.
But what was your question though again? You said, what are they lacking?
Yeah.
Love.
Love?
You think they don't know how to love the man?
Yeah, there's no affection's dying out in our
What do you mean by
community,
affection? Rub your
The
back.
hugs and that, and then,
But you think women are like man them?
well, that's what they are.
Women
They are.
women are like man them now, though.
They are. That's
No,
a good
women
one.
are
Specific,
man
That's
them.
love language.
But remember
in
that there's
that,
that.
bro.
So do you think like so you know like in a dynamic, say like there is a broken home and the single mother.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think like so the woman she raises her daughter to be strong,
Yeah.
independent. You don't need a man. You can do this by yourself.
That's
you can grow
right.
up to do this. And look, I'm doing it. And they raise the sons to be pansy.
Sometimes
Well,
I
they-
don't think it's intentional, you know.
Yeah, it's like
Survival.
the woman's more protective over the man
What do you mean?
in our community in terms of because when the man goes out, our police might stop him, might get into beef. They're more protective. But with the girls, yo, they raise them like, as I said, Zulu
Like man
warriors. Zulu warriors. Yeah. So that's where the balance is kind of changing in our
depends on the
community.
dynamic of the household, because let's say a woman that's been hurt many times by a man and she's got children, she's a single mother, but she'll raise that girl child to say, well, look, you have to be raised independent because if a man does whatever to you,
You know how
you
to
can
fend.
you know how to exactly fend for yourself. You're not
Yeah.
relying on him just in case anything goes down. So
So
I
that's
think that
survival.
yeah,
It's survival.
basically it's that survival. It's like some women would tell their children, the girl children, don't have a shared bank account. Like everything has to be your own thing. So if anything goes down, then you know you got your own.
Yeah.
ish.
But is that bad though? I think that's
I
good.
no, I think that for me personally, I don't like all that shared business.
Yeah.
I don't like all of that. But obviously, that is the mindset of what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. The only thing we come together is the children.
Ah,
That's it.
I don't think it's a bad thing what they're doing. I think it's too much on one side maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think, maybe in my experience with my family and cousins and that, no one's intentionally teaching them to be independent and all of that, and they can do everything. They can look after this and do certain things. So I don't know. So I partly agree they're soaking up things from environment.
yeah,
but-
subliminally. As in, la, 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 la.
But it's that truth definition of wife. If we're getting into that, then basically no one is.
Whoa.
No one.
Yeah, from the get go. Like the truth definition of husband and wife.
Yeah.
Like flip it. Are boys brought up to be husbands?
No.
Or to know what that is?
The boy don't teach it.
Yeah, but your mum would, even my mum would say little things back in the day, like, say back in the day my room would be messy and my mum would be like, oh, no woman wants, a man wants a, you know what I'm saying? Like, they drop little things in.
Yeah, there's little hints.
Yeah.
Little gems get dropped to you, but I don't know, because I remember growing up, my granddad always used to say to me, don't trust a woman, never trust a woman.
Don't rely on
But then
them.
what would that do to you though? Because then
it makes you weird. Like it makes you then realize that you have to suss things out and don't
just dive in straight.
Yeah, dive in and it's like it's the same with friends. You don't just dive straight in
To friends.
You have to see how a person operates. innit?
Take time.
Some people dive in and get heartbroken, innit?
Yeah, meet them one day and then their wife in the next. So I guess it's multifaceted, husband and wife. That's what I said. It's like who's teaching it, who are you around, who's your influences.
But then I've had someone told me that, so they're in their 50s, almost 60, and said they was put off getting married and all of that because of what they saw their parents go through.
Yeah.
So obviously, as we know, that generation that will be like in the 80s, 90s at this point, women stood by their man no matter what, whether they're getting beat down, cheated on, whatever the case is. Through thick and thin, they stayed in it. And for obviously that generation now that's in their 50s, 60s, they didn't want to go through that. Like, well, how can you treat me in that way? So then that generation now trickling down, they're like, nah, like do your own thing. Like don't let no man treat you like this.
Too much options, man.
So I think that's what it is. So obviously, if we was raised, my generation now was raised by those that's in their 80s, then we would have had that mindset of no, like you just stick through the thick and thin. They would have taught you what it is to be a wife, maybe according to their standards, but
That's like that. Remember that thing you sent, and then there were single mothers, and I was like, "Do you want to be a wife?" And I said, "No, I don't want to be."
Oh yeah. I'd rather be
that?
a single. 86. They've done this documentary on these black women, single
Who's
mothers.
86?
1986. The documentary was filmed in America, and they asked, "Would you want to be a wife?" Right? And they all said no.
And they're all sitting there single mothers.
Do you know why though? It's like because, like, in essence, like taking it bare bones, the function of a man's already being performed in different ways. So I remember I was with
You mean by a woman?
Huh? No.
That's osmosis. That's osmosis.
Nah. The function of a man is already being performed, so the women don't necessarily.
By who?
So I'm gonna get into
Okay.
It's like, so for example, I must have been ages ago. I must have been having a conversation with my brethren about this. It's like the government provides the money. Then they'll get a dog that provides comfort and security, and then they'll get links and that, which provides the physical yearnings and all
Okay.
that. So they don't need
one man.
they don't need the one because they're getting a man split up in 4 directions. I don't know. I think I called it the 3 pillars of destruction or something like that. But
They got the money, man.
that they boops in.
Yeah.
That could buy them certain things.
Yeah.
They got the Rottweilers or Banker. So I think society's changed, man. You don't need a man that much because you're getting provided for already. So unless you want, it gets to a stage where you only want a man because you feel lonely.
Yeah.
I remember being early 20s and that, and I felt like that. There's just an emptiness after a while. There's only so long you can be running about the place. You get what I'm saying? Especially because my room in my mum's yard was cold as well.
Man needed a body.
No, that's because you didn't have the
just think to
Superman
yourself,
sheets.
I don't want this life no more. I want well, what we would call then as a wife, innit? Oh, got a wife for your.
Yeah.
So was it at that time you went in search for one?
What, in my early 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actively
Not search. You just make sure that
Just hoping for the best.
Like you
whoever
make
you
sure
end up
whoever
kind of
you're
talking to, whatever.
like you're looking for something proper, not just
Yeah.
any and anyone.
Like you had enough of the linking and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, you have enough of that after.
But sometimes,
and I don't
yeah,
understand.
true,
It's just
yeah.
like your radio show. Them things run your body down as a man. Like when you're a lot of men that live that life now, when they get older, it's pure strokes. Like maybe 1, 2, and then that's it. They're gone. It works. So it wears out your body, and then on a truth aspect, you're also taking on spirits as well.
yeah,
That's true, boy.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm saying.
adding legions, bro.
Wears you down.
Do you think that our community's like top of the ranks for women being masculine?
Yes,
All right.
yes,
She didn't even land.
yes.
Man said the shots.
Wow. And I'm here. If they got anything, I'm here. I'm telling you straight, bro. I'm here.
Like they're coming here. What masculine in what way?
Like in their mannerisms, in their actions.
They're man them.
That they have to
girls
be
are man
independent.
I think
in
their mouth may seem
That's-
like that. Not. They don't walk like.
Because they're still sensitive.
They're right over the belter.
They got hard shell. And if
Yeah.
you don't know how to deal with the hard
Yeah,
shell,
yeah.
it can put you off. But I get what he's saying.
Yeah, masculine
that is
spirit
a masculine
then.
spirit.
Yeah.
It's not they're masculine.
Because
Like,
they're still gooey
Yeah,
inside.
yeah, they're still like dangerous.
Yes,
Still
sir.
gooey.
Yeah, but just
You just
in
got to
there.
get past all the and
Yeah,
But can man
yeah,
be bothered for all of that though? Can he be bothered
That's
to...
a
Some man like
question.
that.
That's a very good question.
Very good
Some man
question.
like that. Like,
So what?
What is it a challenge?
Is the woman
Huh?
raised to be a wife?
No.
No.
what'd you say?
No.
What was my
No, that's
answer?
what we said. We made it specific to our
Yeah,
community.
we broke it down.
So our women, do we top the ranks for?
So what's missing?
being
Why
raised.
that they're not?
Because broken
I think it's
homes,
lack of a father figure.
it's a
Because
balance.
where it's like if you've grown up in a single parent household, you don't see the dynamic of how a man and a woman interact. So you're like, in fact, no, because I grew up with my mum and dad together for a time, but I don't think that I learned how to be a wife because my mum, they didn't communicate well.
But you still had the both of them in the house. So
Yeah, no,
subliminally-
yeah. So I had the example of you must cook, you must clean,
There you
you
go.
do as you're told.
There you go.
No,
Most
but
people
there's
must,
the communication. The communication element is.
But then
Communication.
if you look at that aspect though, if you're okay, so if your dad obviously was there for a time, if your whole thing was you knew how to cook, how to clean, and being told what to do,
Yeah.
in a sense, then would that be satisfactory for you now, growing up and then looking for your husband and then taking on that same trait as your mum? Like, would that be cool with you? Because if that's what you've learned from your mum and dad and that's all you know, then that's going to be fine for you, like to like cook.
Yeah, but then you
and
realise
clean
that it's not
and-
enough. Because you
yes.
don't have that, you don't know how to communicate. So if there's certain things happening, you don't know how to communicate or express how you feel, or you're just
So then, because you haven't learned that, you wouldn't know how to do that
yeah, how
yourself.
to have that. Like, even when we're talking about in the radio show, don't know how to have those conversations. Like, oh, do you know what, babe? I think you need to be a bit more affectionate with me. No, I don't know if in black households we know how to do that, and that is a major thing that affects the dynamic of a
being
man and wife.
affectionate?
No, effective communication.
Oh,
I just use affection as an
Because
example.
remember what the guy was saying is that because he didn't
Which
want to be
guy?
deemed, the guy that came on my radio show, because he didn't want to be deemed as pansy or whatever, weak, he didn't explain to his wife that, right, you're not being affectionate enough. So obviously that is that breakdown, because then that's
Yeah.
what will cause a man to now step out.
But
I'm not
that's
sure
what
if that's
I'm
every
saying.
man though. I'm not
But-
sure if there's some men that will say, no,
Depends
babe,
how
like,
bad
Yeah.
it is, you know. Because if it's like, bro, man can't even get a hug or nothing. Man.
But do you
Like
think
2 years. So, bro, I don't even hug you.
I have a question for the sisters. So from what I've seen in our community is the mums aren't really affectionate to their daughters. It's more a girl will be a daddy's girl.
no, that's not really.
I haven't really seen that.
I know she's the
Nah, I
African
think
household because their mothers love their sons, boy.
Yeah, this is what I'm
More
saying.
than their daughters.
The daughters, they really get like a kind of, not a hard time, but there's no real.
I know what you're saying.
But
You
that's
know
what I
what I'm
was saying.
saying?
That's what I was saying. Remember we were talking on the last show about the grandparents and stuff, and them being hard body. They don't show that affection, so it's not passed down. Like my parents weren't affectionate, but I'm quite affectionate with my children.
But that was a conscious decision for you to be that way.
Yeah, I'm
to
going
change,
to
like,
be
to change the role of.
Yeah.
Because you still
What you
have your
saw.
personality. Like, let's use your spectrum example. Because
That word there.
It got him, you know, it touched him, bro. It touched him.
it's proper.
Now everyone's gonna start saying spectrum, isn't it?
I like it. But you see how you were saying before, you had that at least basic framework that you're working with, and it endowed you with certain skills and whatever. So that puts you further up the spec. Let's say to the end is wifeable,
Okay.
and then to the back is
Spectrum?
something else.
I was waiting for the term. I wanted to know what would you call it? Zulu warrior.
Recruit. Yeah, this is Zulu warrior. So you're further on the spectrum because there's some people that's, like there's a complete emotional imbalance in the house. It's like totally chaos. Like even if, like it's just they don't get any of that. I went uni. Women were burning toast and all of that. So,
You can't burn toast,
How you
bro.
burn
like
toast?
draining rice and doing all that. So again, like certain people have certain experiences. You may have lacked the communication aspect, but that's for your character to develop itself when you're an adult. So we can't get everything, you know. We
No, you can't. But that's yeah. There is compromise in a relationship
That's the
or a
word,
marriage.
yeah.
That is
But-
the word.
There still should be key or core attributes that both bring to the table. Being man and being woman. You're just naturally supposed to have certain things as a woman. You're naturally supposed to have certain things as a man. No man should be at home with their foot cock up, depending on woman, unless they're in in a spot where they've lost their job and they're getting themselves back together. But
yeah.
not no practice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So do you think then the women are how they are because the men are so pansy? So what I mean by that is, do you think that if the right man came along, say like you've got the Zulu warrior woman, if a man came along that was exceptional,
No,
would she submit?
no.
Nah.
Not
Oh,
just,
what?
not just
It will
like
take.
that.
Do you know? It will gradually take time. You would have to work on it. Well, they would have to work
It's
on
like
it.
taming a hyena, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
All
like
these animal analogy. Elephant,
Nah, like-
hyena.
it could work.
Yeah, because you see the similarities.
Yeah,
A
because
whole hyena. Hyena.
it could work.
You know that makes you think of Lion King.
And like they got a bite force, hyenas, like it's powerful. So it could work, but it's like, is it worth it? He would have to see potential in that woman, like real.
Yeah.
Like, there's a gooiness behind that. That
You would
shell.
be very, very invested in her then for him
and a
to.
patient man as well.
Like he has to see something, but for the most part, guys avoid that. You will only, like in the world aspect, you will only ever be a link, and a lot of women don't realize that they will only ever be links.
What do you mean?
Like because of the way they're set up, even if they're very attractive, like it could be 10 out of 10, whatever. If your personality is of a negative disposition, like you're argumentative.
Oh
you're
yeah,
annoying,
yeah.
He won't want to
Because the man in their head already know. No, I'm not gonna wife her.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
it. Don't
yeah,
you find that interesting? I don't say all men, but most men have the same type of wife idea in their head.
Yeah, that mentality, bro.
Where does that
so
come
when
from?
It's what you want, innit? You don't want no one noisy.
Why is it a
Yeah.
universal thing?
Men are
Man
simple.
want peace
yeah.
of mind, innit? What do you mean?
You know what they get embarrassed.
Remember, like, we
Man
said-
are simple
Who wants
Men-
someone
yeah,
who's gonna be
that's-
all like,
you just said it.
And you
Man,
just
that's
get
simple.
embarrassed, bro.
Men are simple creatures.
We're logical.
So I think it's just
You know what I'm
specific
saying?
things.
We think logical. Like, okay, to be able to live a good life, a nice life, blah blah blah. The loud girl off the block ain't that person who you want to be with for that. That's just someone who you want to mess around with and
Party and all.
yeah, all of that. When it comes to, you know what I'm saying? That's why all them rappers,
So do you think? So do
they got their Edith at home. You get me?
you?
That's the name.
But they got their Ethel at home. But
No, but that means
No,
so when you're
Dorothea.
younger and you're like maybe linking or whatever, and the person that you settle down with is it complete opposite?
No. You
Not
still
always.
look for that even.
What?
I think, well, you can probably ask him because he's younger. From what I can remember, but you look for everything. You don't mind whatever when you're on that linking thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's just, whatever. You just, probably more, depending on what area you're from, you're like, what area is she from? You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing you're probably worrying about. Or, if she knows too much man and them sort of
Brothers
things.
and all that.
All of that, that's it. But when you're looking to say, like, I want my wife, you ain't messing with none of them.
Yeah. Literally, like, a guy on the road.
Like, power shows you that.
Yeah. That's why he went with Angela,
Yeah, I know, because he don't want that life no more.
If his wife said, "All right, yeah, let's leave the ends," he wouldn't.
Yeah.
Season 1 finished. he opened up to her, innit? And he said, I don't want to do this no more. And she was used to the lifestyle.
What was the wife's
And then
name?
when you look at the one who did want the
Tisa.
lifestyle, look at woman he went for and ended up killing her.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Tony.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but his wife, what's his Ghost?
Then even he went for the more like business woman because he went with Tasha's friend.
Yeah, Tasha,
Lala.
that's it.
Lala, yeah.
But Tasha was ride or die.
Yeah, but the other one weren't.
interested
I know.
Her friend weren't.
Yeah.
And that's what he settled down, and then Tasha killed her. Oh, you don't watch
I
it?
haven't seen it. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, you're
Yeah, but
missing that, bro.
the essence of it, his old high school lover came back in town and he's seen her. But
Okay.
he's seen her, love is coming back anyway, but he didn't do nothing yet. He's gone home to his wife and he's like, listen, I want to get out of the drug game. I'm not interested in the road life, the heat.
He had a club at that point.
So he's rich, he's cleared, but he's still in the business. So he's gone to his wife, mother of 2. And she's like, no, Ghost, this is our life. Yeah. And then that basically, so he's done. But when he's looked at Angela now, his high school lover, she's like, get out of that, pursue your dreams. So she supported him. She weren't a wife in that situation. That's what I said season 1 done.
That's a good that word, support. Do you think women know how to support? What does support look like?
I say,
Yeah.
No, I disagree. A lot of women like to lead. And do you know what?
You mess with the wrong
that's
woman.
what I'm about to
I mess with
No,
I
I
mess with
life experience.
I've seen other women, bruv, other than who I mess with or who I used to mess with or whatever.
I was thinking,
Had to
make
correct
that one past tense.
In my experience, like, even female friends, mad supportive. All different nations. I don't know, it's how who you're around, innit? But mad supportive, they'll go, because women have this different level of support from the man them. No man them, it's kind of just, they will go distance for you, but women will do some next things for you.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Nah, I got a yield on that one still.
Yeah. But it's one of those ones, innit?
So where does the
woman like, and I think that's the attractive thing as well. If a woman is like, you see them supporting you with something, and that's what it makes you think, oh, raw.
Like, no, that's
Remember them
proper.
That's ride or die, boy.
It is.
You said you remember them days.
You're reminiscing.
Honestly.
Big grin on the face as well.
Yeah, because it's like
going
no,
now.
no, because it's like
Love,
you
innit?
was fully right. Like that's a good feeling for a woman to know that you was.
Yeah, and it's a good feeling for a man as well. But
You ain't said the meat
I
though.
think when it comes to that type of thing, women are all over that because they want to be in the mix and but it's like other things that they might lack.